Travelers, I hope everyone is fine. I have been busy, so I'm going to kind of give you a quick update on what's happening with me. Of course, I won that scholarship to Astrology University, and so I'm. It's just fantastic. I don't have any words for it. What I'm learning, but the stuff that I'm really interested in doesn't come till year 3 and 4. But whatever. This gives me a firmer foundation because I struggle with things like looking at the aspects and chart synthesis, and just picking up some of the nuances in reading charts. So it's really an eye opener. It's a great class. I'm doing the self-paced study thing. We meet on like every Sunday, have live cohorts, but if you got other stuff going on, like I got other stuff going on, I might not be able to attend those, but so I get to do the self-study, and I might probably attend a few extra ones, even though they're probably going to be way ahead of where I am. But I've got some great books. I went ahead and did my book list. I've got a few of the great books. And so I'm learning a lot. But the other thing that I've been working on, I know y'all are tired of hearing about me in them tarot classes. Finally, they are finished. I got everything looking exactly the way that I want. However, we are about to start in a Mercury retrograde. Now, my colleague Jessica Adams says, that it's in the sign of Libra, and that's not such a big deal. But I'm a Virgo, and I'm always sensitive to when Mercury's out of bounds. And although the 7th house representing Libra is not necessarily a money house, it's not the 2nd house of personal finances. It's not, it is a house that represents, in a sense, contracts, right? I always talk to you guys about that. And so what I would be asking you guys to do under this Mercury retrograde is to come over, click the buy button and join the courses for, with me. And so I'm just going to wait. And after Mercury goes direct, and that's going to be in October, and then I'm going to launch those classes, and that gives me an opportunity to go back, that Virgo perfection. I'm not trying to perfect anything, but there's a couple of videos that I have stuck into the course that I'm kind of not pleased with. I think there's some more information that I could give, so I'm going to redo those, and that's what I'm going to be doing, and then I will be launching those classes in October. I just feel it's best to wait until after the Mercury retrograde. I will be making a video showing you guys, giving you guys a sneak peek on the inside of what it looks like. And then, of course, I will be sending out, tweeting out when it's going to be starting, LinkedIn out when it's going to be starting, newsletter out when it's going to be starting, and I'll send out another, video when we start getting close to time. And so that's pretty much what I've been working on, and finally, I can't believe I got it done. But I think it's pretty good. I'm actually pleased and proud of the work. So anyway, we're going to be talking today about the Virgo New Moon, which is going to be coming up on 27 August, so just a couple of days. And then followed by Mercury going retrograde. Now, Mercury is he stations retrograde at 8 Libra on September 9th and goes actual retrograde on the 10th of September. And he will be traveling all the way back from 8 Libra all the way back to 24 Virgo, okay? Where on October 1st, he will be stationing direct at 24 Virgo, and then he turns direct on October 2nd. But we will also have a full moon in Pisces on September 22nd. And that will be at 22 degrees Pisces. We'll have the full moon is going to be the 10th of September at 22 Pisces. So this Mercury retrograde is coming between a new moon and a full moon. Okay, and we know that new moons are always a time to begin something new or to close out old projects so you can, start to do something new. And then the full moon is kind of that energy where you need to complete that project so you can get ready to start working up towards the new moon. I hope that made sense what I said. So, so anyway, what we're going to do is, I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have not done a reading for you guys in such a long time. I will be working on videos for September for the website, the individuals. I now have the time. I'll also be doing some, the elementals here on YouTube. Okay. And I'm just simply hoping that once I kind of get my classes up on the website and launched and ready to go, that everything is going to go exactly the way that it should. No glitches, no payment glitches, no stuff not showing up, that kind of a thing. And so that's a bit what I'm worried about, launching it under this Mercury retrograde. So with that being said, again, I have the Radiant White. We have the Levitus Abilis here for clarification should we need. And depending on what the cards have to say, will determine what oracle card I will use to wrap the reading up. For those of you who are new to my channel, I want to welcome you and thank you. For those of you who have been our old hats, been hanging around, I want to thank you as well for sticking with me. So I've already done some meditation and shuffling on this new moon, full moon, Mercury retrograde thing. So I'm going to turn the camera around, do a bit more shuffling, and then we're just going to open the cards, okay? All right, here we go. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can. And if you're watching this and you're following me and I haven't followed you back, I'm trying to get in there every day and, follow people back, but they only give you a limit. You can only follow so many people a day. So just bear with me. I will follow you back, and I appreciate those follows. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you can sign up for the newsletter as well. And you can find me over on LinkedIn as Hidden Lotus Tarot. And basically, I just cross-post stuff, okay? So you don't have to do them both if you don't want to. All of it if you don't want to. So here we go. 9 cards down. The Emperor. And I might need to lower the temperature on that light a little bit so that you guys can see it without all the, this thing. There we go. Okay. Next card, Page of Cups. Interesting. 10 of Pentacles. Next row, the Empress. Well, I have a couple here now. That's interesting. The Moon. So here's our timing. Oh, wow. The 10 of Cups. So now that's 2 10s. Wow. I don't know what this is, but it looks good so far. Okay. So last row. Oh, well. 4 of Swords. That's not a bad card. It really isn't. Talks about rest and relaxation. Taking a break from stuff. Okay. The King of Wands. So now I have 2 court cards here. Last card down. The Fool card. Wow, that's great. That's great. Okay, so what is over the entire reading? Oh, well, isn't that interesting? Okay, I'll tell you in just a second. What is over the energy of the entire reading? Oh, it is the Hermit. Okay, well, that's not a bad card either. So don't be freaked out. And that's a 9. It actually gives us a time frame. It represents the sign of Virgo. So that's another somewhat maybe indication of perhaps the quality of the month of September. And what I would say about that is the 9 is a number of isolation, meditation, contemplation, of, in a sense, kind of actually removing yourself away. Because sometimes being a hermit can be something that you do on purpose, right? You need to get away from everybody and everything. But then sometimes it could be the energy of feeling alone and feeling isolated, as if there's no one there to help you. But I think what the hermit is trying to say now, over as the energy over this reading, is that perhaps the month of September will be a month in which we might have to adopt the qualities and the characteristics of the hermit. And what I mean by that is the hermit is not just, you always hear me say this, but I think it's important. The hermit is not just a scholar, okay? He's not just a student. He's also a teacher. So this may be the idea that before we actually move, because we're going to be going into the fall equinox as well. So before we, get ready to prepare ourselves to go into that fall mode, time goes back, it gets darker. Pretty soon we're going to be doing here in America, we're going to be in some states, we're going to be doing the time change. So it's going to be darker earlier. And so this could be the idea that we need to stop and prepare ourselves and get ourselves ready for the stillness of winter. It doesn't mean that there's nothing that's going on in our lives or nothing that we can have going on in our lives, but give us a moment to stop and contemplate all that has come before, a moment of pause and rest, so that we can gather our forces, our energy, our skills, our knowledge, whatever. Maybe this is about eating and sleeping. It is Virgo, that sixth house, the work, service, and duty, so that we can move into the winter months in a better place, in a better place. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm going to come back to him because he's telling me something else. I have the 2 tens here, and 2 tens could either be the end of a relationship or phase in a relationship, and this could be any type of relationship. But 2 tens always speak to career and financial change for the better, okay? But I also have 2 fours here, okay? And 2 fours can be an indication of being, let me make sure I got it right, house repairs or looking to move house. But 2 fours can also indicate a safe and secure time period, all right? So nothing out of the ordinary. I think if I had to pick 2 cards, it would be these 2. And so what I'm looking at, remember I said to you, this is a couple. This is the father and the mother of the tarot. These are the masculine energies and the feminine energies, representative of Mars and Venus, the lovers in astrology. But in terms of just speaking about the energy of the emperor is about logic and reason, okay? It is about maintaining a balance so that you can think on your feet, you can think critically, you can make good decisions without allowing your emotions to color or influence whatever decisions you need to make. If a person, then this is going to be an elderly or older male figure. He's going to be someone who maybe might have a military background, or at least approaches things in that kind of, martial sense. Everything is spit and shiny. He's got his stuff together. He could be a boss. He could be a friend. He could be a colleague. I've seen him show up when it speaks to someone who is a entrepreneurial kind of guy who's been running his business for a long time. So he's known to give good advice, okay? But then I come to this Page of Cups. And for me, pages always simply represent the idea of news. Now, this fish in the cup also gives me this indication, because this is just how my intuition works. One of the old symbols for prosperity or finances was a fish, okay? So to me, this represents some kind of news, financial news, perhaps unexpected news, dealing with finances. So it's just message, it's a news. And here on the backside, we have the 10 of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is the card of status and ambition. Now, it can represent a family business or a family company. If you'll notice the imagery of the card, we have the old man there. There's the two dogs, the kid, the man and the woman. They're obviously comfortable with each other and have spent a lot of time together. So if it's not that, then it could be the idea of maybe having worked in a place for a long time and people have become like family. Okay, I've seen this card when it speaks about financial rewards and generational money, enough money to last throughout, quote unquote, the ages. It always, in a sense, speaks to the improvement of a financial situation, but it could also just simply be the idea, because it is coins, that either this emperor or this empress or together they've done those things and they've built this, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, nest egg, and they are at the pinnacle of their life in terms of where they want to be. Never a bad thing. And then we come to the Empress. Now, the Empress is simply the energy of a fecund female, someone who is everything she touches grows, okay? Very fertile. She represents the goddess of agriculture and sometimes seasons. So we are looking at either Ceres or Demeter. She represents the mother figure. So it is about nurturing. It is about growth. It is about abundance. It is about fertility. In terms of business, I've seen this card show up when it says that now is the time to begin new projects. She represents Venus, okay, as well. In the photograph, she is pregnant. And if this is not about a real pregnancy or a new pregnancy on the horizon, I don't necessarily see that here in the card. Doesn't mean it's not true. Then what it is about the gestational period of something new being born, okay? Now, we come to the moon in the center, and as I say, this is my timing. So whatever this is, it's happening somewhat roughly around the new moon, between the two moons, maybe after the full moon, okay? But the moon it is one of the luminaries. We have the sun, we have the moon, and we have the stars. Those are our luminaries. But the moon is about a time of energy, a time when we are not able to see things clearly. Okay, and because we're not able to see things clearly, this can cause us to have conflicted emotions. All right. One side of us is the domesticated side. We're able to, maybe on the outside or the surface, look like we're okay, but underneath, the wild side of us is like kind of freaking out. We see the little crustacean or the lobster coming out of the water. So this is about emotion surfacing, fear surfacing. It could be about dreams and intuition, sometimes even psychic visions, okay? And the path in the center speaks about the idea of sometimes having to travel a path without any clear vision or knowing exactly what's coming ahead of us, but doing so with faith. The Ten of Cups is here, and this is really, as a pip card, one of the luckiest cards that you can get. And basically, this is about, everybody getting exactly what they want. It's about joy and happiness and love. As you can see, they're standing out on their little plot of land, looking back at their house, the verdant green grass, the river running through, the kids are dancing all around. But I often like to caution people about this card because the cups are in the rainbow. And even though, according to the Bible or Christianity, the rainbow is the covenant between God and the people, says that no matter what happens, I'm always here. But I like to caution people about this because we know that as well, a rainbow is an illusion. Right? It's not something real and tangible. So it could be something about these 10 cups in the rainbow that maybe we might have to question. And maybe this is what's going to come about here for us underneath this hermit. Because we come to the Four of Swords. Now, before this was a 4, it was a 3, which implies to me that there either has been some kind of conflict, some kind of miscommunication, maybe even a separation, hurt feelings, that sort of thing. And then there's a question that we need to take a step back. So in a sense, it's almost, to me, even though this is a swords, it is somewhat the same energy as the Hermit card. It is swords, so it represents thoughts, belief, perceptions, ideas, and communications. Okay, and so sometimes this can be the idea of simply removing yourself from a situation, not speaking about it, not thinking about it, not talking about it, so that you can mentally rest your mind. Because if you worry and there's a lot of stress and there's an anxiety, you literally can make yourself sick. So my question comes to, who is this King of Wands and what is this King of Wands all about? Because he kind of stands out to me. And we know that the King of Wands as well is can be a fire sign male, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. He too has the qualities of the Emperor in that he would be an entrepreneurial guy who runs his own business. He's got a lot of ideas. He likes to delegate a lot. He's a fast mover, fast talker. He may be hot and sexy, the whole bit, okay? But in my book, an emperor is greater than a king, okay? And so I feel that the combination of these three cards tells me that there's going to be perhaps something that is going to give someone pause, okay? Because it kind of knocks you down a little bit. Now, even if you are female watching this, you too can embody the energy of the emperor and the king, okay? And this is if we're out there running our own business, making our own decisions, or whatever the case may be. But luckily, the card ends, well, I don't know, luckily, the card ends with the Fool. Now, there is an additional meaning when the Fool card falls at the beginning of a reading and falls at the end of a reading. So let me give that to you, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, it simply speaks about the idea of a new journey. Now, sometimes this could be about travel, literally going on a trip, okay? But to me, in this instance, what it feels like is a brand new start in some way. So it says, the Fool appearing at the tail ending of a reading signifies that someone is at the very beginning of their journey. Circumstances will come about that will force a change in direction. And maybe that's what this is. As you can see, he's faced this way. Okay, everybody else is kind of outwardly facing. We also see this page face this way along here with the Fool card. Okay, so that's what it says. It says that you're at the very beginning, someone traveling without really any indication of what's coming up ahead or how things are going to turn out. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna change the circumstances here, okay? And it will force a change in direction. Now, it doesn't tell me that this is gonna be something bad or something negative. It just says it's gonna be a change in direction. And we do know, under the auspices of Mercury, you know, people renege on stuff. They change their mind about contracts. They change their mind about products, or, you know, something doesn't go right. Something falls through. But that's not always necessarily a bad thing, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, I said to you that these two cards stood out to me first. Let me see if I can find this indication here. Now, the Empress next to the Moon can indicate suicide or suicidal thoughts. I have to give that to you. And I don't know if perhaps this is the idea that maybe it might be somebody that you know, this fire sign king, who may be feeling rather low, alone, and isolated. Okay? This Four of Swords card is not necessarily an indication of self-harm, but definitely that someone has, in a sense, whenever I see this card, I call this the ghost card. You've been talking to somebody for a while and all of a sudden they just ghost you. Okay? So, you know, I have to put that out there. See the message underneath the moon? But we have these two cards here. And then we have these cards of family. And maybe this is really a child to these two people. An older male, yes, but the message, the child, you know, is suicidal or having suicidal thoughts. And so I have to throw that out there. And that would most definitely affect the family. Okay? Doesn't quite fit with the idea of a financial and career change for the better, or that, but it does indicate a change in a relationship, the end of a relationship, or phase in the relationship. Okay? So I do have to give that. So when I said those two cards, when they popped up, it triggered something. And so that's what it was saying to me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to turn these two cards over, because traditionally they do represent people. And that leaves me 4 major arcana. Now, one major arcana card holds more sway than all of the pip cards put together. Okay? And so whenever the major arcana show up, this is truly a spiritual lesson. I don't know if this is about being strong, but being nurturing at the same time. Understanding that sometimes we don't always understand or see stuff, you know, but we still have to face it. But yet it's going to bring about a change of circumstance for us. Okay? Now that's kind of a stab in the dark. And maybe this card is saying, you know, you need to stop for a moment and get ready to prepare yourself. I don't know. I don't like to give bad news, and I don't like to scare people, but this is what my guides are asking me to share with you. So since I've turned these two cards over, what does it leave me? It leaves me the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords as they relate to the Emperor, the Empress, the Moon, and the Fool card. And these are still coming across as parents to me. Okay? These are parents. Even though I said, you know, we can embody the energy, I'm trying to cover all the bases for everybody watching so that at least somebody can get something from this. But the energy coming off of these are parents and family. All right? So, let me get my book here. We're going to start with the 10 of Pentacles. And remember that the Pentacles are not necessarily about finances. They're about the doing of things, the third dimensional aspect. The Cups are not about romance and love. They're about emotions. And the Swords are about thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communication. So, excuse me. Nothing about the 10 of Pentacles. Okay? Let's move to the 10 of Cups. This is past, present, future, interplay of the cards. The 10 of Cups. With the Empress. Implies that happy partnerships and possible announcements may be made. This may involve either yourself or someone close to you. Family ties and relationships are highlighted at this time. And it may be telling you that it is a perfect time to make arrangements for special events to come. The 10 of Cups appearing with the Empress indicates that it is a most auspicious time to make plans for the future. However, there's something here. There's something here. Now, the 10 of Cups appearing with any other 10 card indicates that a huge change is imminent. You see it here. The number of 10s will indicate how radical the change will be. It is a 2. So if this is not about relationships, it is about some kind of crossroads, choice, or decision that has to be made. Okay? That's how the changes will come about. And whatever the changes are, it's going to be either on a family, either like that 10th house, that the most public open house, that has to do perhaps with reputation, ambition, and status, if not money, right? but also a family situation in which emotions, okay? So that is the areas in which the changes are going to happen, okay? And how they're going to come about. It's going to be affected through some type of relationship, be this business, familial, friendship, romance, okay? Now, Four of Swords. Four of Swords. Well, Four of Swords doesn't tell me anything. So, what I'm going to do doesn't tell me anything. What I'm going to do, we're going to pull cards. You know, this Hermit, he's trying to tell me something, but I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to tell me. So let me just read right quick to see if there's anything that he can speak to me about. Ask you to be more self-reliant and in control of events. Well, this is especially true during times of worry or crisis. Help and assistance from others is available if needed. However, it is only through contemplation of one's own self that progress can be made. Use this time wisely to reflect upon your actions. There's definitely, he's come to, that's what he's saying. He's come to indicate to us a completion. That's what the number 9 means. So that some new beginning may start. The message is that all darkness cannot blot out the light, as light is always there to follow. The star and the moon. This is what he has come to say. Okay? And it's an indication of the hidden interior and the subconscious field of divine operation. I don't know what that means, but that's what they pointed out to me. So, what I'm going to do is, let me take a look at this King of Wands here, whatever this news is. And I still feel that this is something that occurs between August 27th to to the 10th of September. Maybe even out to October once the Mercury goes retrograde, once it turns direct. So we're looking at a period of maybe 4 to 5 weeks, maybe. Okay. First, I want to take a look at this King of Wands. He comes with the Fool at his back. The Alegria, family and friends. Well, we see that. Yeah, there's obviously, 'cause sometimes our friends are like our family. The Lamika, there's another friend here. So, a celebration, getting together with our friends, with our family. But sometimes this can be an indication of a drinking buddy. Okay, so if this is somebody new that you don't know well or well at all, you want to be on your P's and Q's. Here, the Lamika really points to a female friend or colleague, but it can also be a sister, a niece, an aunt, someone that you know, someone who typically you can count on and rely on. And then the Amore card. Well, This comes as an intensifier. So whatever emotions are going on around this, hot, fast, quick. It's Cupido. Okay. Don't know if this is telling me that this king maybe has met someone, maybe your friend, and they have, if not infatuated, it's not talking about full love. There's no real love in there. So it could be that. Remember, it said that the Empress with the, was it the Ten of Cups, that it's going to be happy celebrations and times with family and friends and yada, yada, yada. So now I'm going to look at these two cards together. Okay? And I have to look at them simply because of the combination in which they fell. Now, I still stand by the idea that this is simply a timing. But those two cards together, you know. Conversazione. Conversation. The Ace of Cups. Or in this deck, the Ace of Hearts. The Precious Presence. Oh, wow. So I don't know if maybe this is a marriage that's trying to take place here, an engagement. See what the last card is. And the Messaggere. Well, that's quite interesting. We have these two cards that kind of, in a sense, kind of look the same. Okay, but they're not really. This is any place where people get together, like so bars and pubs and restaurants, okay? But this could literally be at someone's home. And this is about conversations, positive conversations. Now, the imagery depicted in the card is we see the parents of the bride over here. She's in blue, and that's her sister. So there's her father. So you see that by color, these two are, by clothing, they are related. And then we see the groom-to-be. He's in blue. We know that he has to talk to her father and the mother to get their permission to marry, okay? But I've also seen this kind of show up sometimes when it talks about business conversations. So this would imply literally where you go to sit down at a table with people, all right? Having dinner, having tea, coffee and cake. What do the Germans call it? Coffee klatschen, okay? But then we come to the presente de pietre preziose, the precious presents. Now, the precious presents do talk about jewels and finances and rich things and living on the high life, riches. But it also speaks to sometimes good advice given to you. We see the Messaggere coming, the letter. Now, the Messaggere doesn't tell me anything about what the letter could be, the news could be about, but there's somewhat of an indication here. Maybe some good news, some positive news, some financial news coming that's going to require us to, as a family, sit down and talk about it. It very well could be this idea that maybe someone might be talking about getting married or getting engaged, okay? The Messaggere. It just simply says that there's news coming. Now, he's somewhat like the Lenormand horseman. So within a time frame of a week, a day to a week, 24 hours to a week. Okay, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. It does fall in the timing between the moons and the Mercury retrograde. So I don't necessarily see this indication of perhaps suicide or anything like that. You know, but as I say, I have to put that out there. And I think that's about all I can get out of this reading. So what I'm going to do now is pull a I think we should not muddy the waters any. So we're going to go ahead and utilize the Golden Nostradamus. Now, granted, I'm reading for all of y'all. It's an open reading, so for some of you, none of this, you don't recognize the situation. I still hope that you were able to get something out of it. Maybe for others of you, you do recognize this situation. But there's no timing in the tarot, so just keep that in mind. But I you know, Suffice it to say, I stand by the time frame between a couple of days from now out to October 2nd. Definitely it's going to be a change coming. Circumstances occurring, a new change. But it doesn't look like it's anything bad. So, well, now we have the perfumes. And oddly enough, it's the number 27. So, the perfumes say, the scent of a woman is at its best when only her true nature is expressed. So let's listen. Careful of one or more foppish, frivolous, and superficial individuals, but neither should you be avid or flippant. Sobriety is needed in order to act correctly and not let oneself get involved with weak elements. So it could very well be that your friend or your daughter comes home, oh, I'm in love with this guy, and he's a complete idiot. He might just be sexy and don't have nothing else going for him. So that could be the situation in which it's going to change directions. Okay. It looks like something brand new. We shall see. Okay. And so that is what I have for you for this new moon, full moon, Libra, Mercury retrograde. And until next time, be well, stay safe. Namaste. Bye.